Hi, I am the Sparkle Freak, and I am about to, if my little phone holder will cooperate with me, I'm about to work on some rhinestones, and I have not done a shoe tutorial yet. All I've done so far are the tumblers and shown you the shoes that I've finished, but I never actually showed you how I do any of it. And I have received sugar. Oh, honey. I received these in the mail. This is the second pair like this that I'll be doing. Um, there was a post on Facebook where everybody saw a pair of shoes like this where the toe was rhinestoned, and then there was a fade through of rhinestones from the toe to the heel. And I went ahead and added rhinestones to this part on the last pair of shoes I did. So I'm basically going to duplicate that all over again with these. I'm only going to do one shoe here, and then I'm going to turn around and do a live over on Facebook in my group with the other shoe. So what you need for this is some kind of sanding block or sandpaper. I happen to use the foam blocks that you can get at the store for when you're getting ready to paint a house and you want to sand down the walls. You're going to need your E6000, some sort of rhinestone pickup tool, and I have SS 10, 16, and 20 size rhinestones ready to go. Now, the last shoe I used SS16 on the toe, and I think this time I actually want to go with the SS10 and go smaller on the toe. On the side, it's scattered, so you're going to use all of the different sizes all the way up to the back, kind of make it look like somebody tossed the stones and they stuck to the shoe, if that makes sense. So I'm going to reposition the camera, and I apologize for the shaking and everything. My little phone holder thingy is not wanting to cooperate with me, so it looks all funky. But hopefully it doesn't shake too much while I'm doing this. Sorry. And I really need to invest in a better one. So I'm going to slide this over actually because I don't want to sand it over top of my workspace. So I sand this part down before I place rhinestones because it helps the E6000 adhere to the shoe better. And because I'm not doing any kind of modification to this black line of the shoe, I'm actually going to be careful about sanding around that area. Apparently, YouTube decided I didn't want to be on here. Sorry about that. I just looked up, sorry about that. I just looked up and it said, you lost connectivity. And I was ironically talking about connectivity. Go figure. Sorry about that, guys. So, I just wipe it off to get the dust off. I don't actually go wash it off under water or anything. I just use a dry rag. So now I'm going to slide it back over here and hopefully pay attention to y'all being able to actually see it this time, because I get so into what I'm doing, I'm looking down here and I'm forgetting to look at the screen to make sure you guys are able to see what's going on. Sorry. So whenever I do the toe, oh, I need to put the lid back on this while I'm explaining because it's oozing out. I go from here to here, and then I come around the bottom, and then I work my way toward the inside because I want to make sure that that edge is where everything is lined up. If it's all funky in the middle, people don't notice that as much, but they notice the edges. So if you were to start down here and work your way up and you don't have a perfect line across here, it looks kind of wonky. So I always start at the top and go make a circle around and work towards the middle. And I'm going to use my small, actually nope, not those. These are not hot picks and these are hot picks, that's why I switched. You don't need to use hot fix when you're doing this because hot fix is for when you are going to heat press onto clothing. Most of my rhinestones are hot fix, which is why I wind up just using them because, well, my husband bought a ton of rhinestones for me back years ago, and I can't bring myself to buy new rhinestones that are not hot fix when I have 30 plus colors with, I think they're 1 pound bag. I don't know, it's insane amount of rhinestones, you guys. I have over 100 pounds. I don't even know where he ordered it from. Somewhere in China. I just know that they are Korean stones, so they're good quality and they're glass. But I don't know where he got them from. Hopefully y'all can see this well with the angle. But I'm just basically drawing a line. I'm not squeezing the tube because the tube is already letting the glue come out. So I'm just basically moving the tube across the shoe and letting it ooze out. I'm not going all the way across so that I make sure that the glue doesn't dry and get rubbery before I'm ready for it to do what it's doing. Sometimes with this particular type of, it wants to stick to this more than it does to this, let go of the stone whenever I put it down here. So I really can't wait to be able to try a different version of this. I've seen where people rave over a few different other styles, and again, I have that weird, I don't want to buy new stuff if I already have something. And I have this one and one more to use before I'm allowing myself to buy a new one. So if you have a better quality one than this, it's not as much of a pain in the butt for the stone to come up, I'm sure. Or for this to let go of the stone. You see it's picking up great, but it doesn't want to let it go, so I have to kind of tap it a little bit. And you notice that one is offline, but I'm not paying attention to it right now because I'm going to straighten them all out here in a second once I get them all down. That's part of the reason why I didn't go all the way across the shoe. I wanted to make sure the glue was still wet so I could adjust. Come on, stop being a turd. So now I will go back and make sure my lines are beautiful. You're going to see excess glue on the either side of the stone. Don't freak out about it, because when all the stones are together on the shoe, you're just going to see the stones, and the clear glue is not going to be an issue. I do get the excess from the bottom, so that way the next row of stones can be as close as possible to this row. But otherwise, I'm not stressing it. People aren't going to be all in your shoe as close as I am on the shoe right now. They're going to be on your feet. You're going to be walking. They're not going to notice any of that. See, this is already starting to get rubbery over here. I almost want to remove it and do a new line. Yeah, it's still soft enough. And just an FYI, if you guys are making comments and stuff, I apologize, but my phone is not showing me any comments. So if you're asking questions, I happen to be sucky right now and I'm not able to answer them. This is where me having a videographer would help. Then I could have somebody read stuff to me. I actually had my 14-year-old son. I was paying him $10 an hour. $10 an hour to be my videographer. But my time that I wanted to do videos was inconvenient for him and his video games, so he quit. What kind of 14-year-old gets a $10 an hour job and quits? As you can tell, this is a timely process. Now, honestly, I am only going to do this row and switch from going at the toe and go to the side, so I'm not boring you to death with just watching me do this toe up the way I am. What I'll probably do, since I'm doing this as a live, is I'll go through this process and get you started on it, but then I will turn around and do another video later so you can see what it looks like when I'm towards the end of it. Otherwise I'll be boring you to death. Because look, I'm already at 11 minutes and 45 seconds on this video, and all I've done was the first row and showed you that I sanded it down. So this can be a rather long and tedious, boring process that nobody wants to sit here and watch happen for hours on end. Alright, so I'm going to move on from the toe, because I already explained to you that I put the stones around the edge completely and then work my way towards the middle. So you understand what the gist of that is. Scatter on the side is kind of the more entertaining part anyways. Now, normally my E6000 does not ooze as much as what it is oozing right now, but I was working on my daughter's shoes were flipped up on this part here, so I E6000 the underneath of the bottom of it, and I squished my tube so hard that it is just keeps wanting to go. So I'm just doing this so that way I can put this shoe at an angle so you guys can see it better, because I think if I do it like this, you're not going to get a good visual. Alright, so now I've got these SS10s. These are SS16s. Actually, I'll go ahead and put them in here so they don't mix. And then SS20s. These are hot fix because that's the only thing I have. I don't have any SS20s that are not hot fix. So this right here is where I'm going to start. And all I'm going to do is little dabs of glue, and I do a couple little dots at a time, otherwise I'm going to be putting the cap on and off and on and off. You're going to get little strings with your glue. I just kind of grab them and try to pull it away from the shoe. If it is on the shoe, I just use the end of this. The size rhinestones is SS16, 20, and 10. I'm using a mixture on the sides to do a scattered effect. And actually showed me your comment. That's amazing. It wasn't doing that earlier. So just random little dots. I'm gonna do, I just threw a stone somehow. All right. Actually, SS16 I want to have right here. You notice I kind of go in a little circle with that. I do that so that way it kind of gets the glue smushed in really well with the canvas underneath of the rhinestone. Because E6000 seems to want to sit on top of the canvas and not go into it. So, okay, this is what I was talking about with the little strings. All I have to do is lift it and it comes up really easy. And I'm just randomly choosing my stone sizes. And I say that now, but my randomness isn't so random. On the other, when I go to do the other shoe on this side, I try to make it mirror so that the scatters look similar. It's not exact, but it looks similar. So this is literally all I'm doing is dabbing the glue, laying down the stones, and trying not to make a complete mess at the same time. There. I almost make my decision on what size stone I'm going to use based on the glob of glue and how big that is, actually. And again, the canvas and the glue are not friends, so I just like to put pressure. Like, see that one even popped up just because I touched it. I need to push down on it some more. And an FYI, whenever I do these shoes for somebody, I always send them extra stones in case they fall off and let them know that they can glue them on with E6000 pretty easily. But I feel like there needs to be one right there, a big one. You notice I don't really use a whole lot of the SS20s. I think on the last pair I used 6. I think the little stones look better than the bigger ones. I don't really use SS20 for hardly anything, honestly. I bought them for one project and I just happened to have them left over. No, that one's too big. It needs a big one. I'm not even sure you can see the little strings that I see with the camera when I'm doing that. You gotta be light-handed with the E6000 too. I think I've said before in another video that I did with E6000 that they have different tubes that have a little needle end on them that I see a lot of crafters, artists use, and I tried that one, but I had been using this type of tube for so many years that I'm just used to it. And whoop. So as you can see, this is super simple. And it doesn't really even take that much because you're doing the scattered effect. You don't need that many stones. This is actually going to somebody who is going through cancer treatment, and the color purple is significant to her and her treatment. So in the Facebook post that I told you about early in the beginning of the video. I actually saw where she posted on the picture of the shoes that she had the cancer and that she really loved the shoes and she was trying to find some place to buy them. And so I sent her a private message and just said, hey, send me the shoes and I will make them for you, no charge. I just feel like I want to do this for you. So, ta-da, here we are. I'm just happy that she actually trusted me to send the shoes because I was just from some random person she's never met, and I'm asking her to send me Converse to my house, and she actually believed I was genuine, so that made me feel good. And I'm glad I get to do something nice for somebody. Okay, so the toes only started with one row, but like I said, you're going to go around the edge and then work your way towards the middle. There are going to be a little bit gaps. This is pretty much it for the side. All I'm going to do is, now that I have a different angle, I can kind of see some of the little, what I'll call spider webs from the glue. I'll clean that up when I'm done with the shoe, but I'm also going to do rhinestones down. It disconnected me again. So I use the SS16 on the back here, and I believe it makes a row of 4. I'm not going to bother doing all that because we're at 22 minutes, going to go on 23 minutes, and so, but I will repeat this same process over here on the inside of the shoe and of course on the other shoe, but I'm going to do the other shoe over on Facebook so that my peeps over there can see it too. And then I will come back here later when this shoe is almost finished and not do it as a live, but I'll just record it and then show you here so that way it's not a forever long video. So hopefully that helps you guys understand how to make that happen, and hope that was easy and helped you realize that it's pretty not too difficult to do and it's not even that expensive to do because you don't use that many stones. So have fun.